Hey guys, it's Nathan here. I'm a proud fan of the Wellington Phoenix, giving my thoughts and reactions to the first game of the A-League season. Obviously a small insight as well on the new signings, and just an overall of how we did in the start of the season. Obviously we were one of the later kickoffs, being on Sunday. We were at a 5 PM here in New Zealand when it kicked off, quite an early family kind of atmosphere. It was awesome to get 9,000 plus fans in the stadium. We haven't seen that many good numbers for a long time. So the bigger the numbers, the better. Keep on coming down to the stadium, supporting your Knicks, and make sure that we can just push them and support them to victory. I just want to say that we did a really good job in this game. We held them out. We shut down their danger man. Petrados was relatively unseen for most of that match up until he scored in the last stages, but we just kept them out really well, and I thought that we had an overall really good first performance. Obviously, we didn't play the greatest game. We did have errors, and we did need to improve on quite a few things, like just our judging on where to be, making sure we know who's where and passes and stuff like that. But that will come. That will come as the season progresses. We've just got to be patient, just to support the guys, and eventually it will come. It will come. It's just obviously you can't have a perfect game. There's always things that you can improve on. But to the Wellington Phoenix, they did really well, and I'm so glad that we got the win in the end. Obviously 2-1 against last year's runners-up, which was a very good result for us. Now just to discuss the VAR just quickly. Not a big thing, I'm not going to go on and on about it. I thought that both VAR calls were making the right decisions after looking back at it again and again. I did see an arm stick out from Singh, so I do agree that that was a handball, although I do think it was really harsh that he got a yellow card for deliberate handball. I don't think he was trying to handball it there, he was just trying to control it as it came off the defender by David Williams' strike. He should have probably scored himself, but things happen. You just shoot, and it doesn't always go where you want it. And the other VAR decision, I did think it was a push and a warranted penalty there against Mitch Nichols, who came on off the bench. Hopefully, Christian will actually score some of the penalties. Obviously, he did a good penalty, and Moss just read it as a great goalkeeper. But yeah, it was the return for 3 ex-Phoenix players for their first time since leaving the club. Obviously 2 goalkeepers, Moss starting and Italiano on the bench, as well as Redenton in midfield. He actually nearly scored after we left him quite open in that first half, but well cleared off the line by Fenton. But yeah, just a quick rundown of the game. I thought that we played really well, and it was just our determination and our passion, and the fans definitely helped. Got behind the squad and celebrated immensely, like we always do when we score. It was really great to see the amount of supporters out there supporting the boys today. Oh, Sunday, I mean. But yeah, it was a really good performance, and hopefully more to come. Obviously, got Brisbane away this weekend, so hopefully we can deliver against them. They picked up a draw, and there's definitely parts of them that we can exploit, I think. But yeah, we just definitely have what it takes, I reckon, to do really well this season. I really do believe that. Now, looking at our new signings, which I have on my phone here. First, looking at the 2 that didn't take part, or the 3, I should say, that didn't take part today. Cullen Elliott, Ruben Way and Michael Kopczynski. All 3 of those played for the Wellington Phoenix reserves in the Curtin opener, if you may have seen it, against Team Wellington prior to the A-League match. They all played in that game. Michael Kopczynski playing in that game and not in the first team because of a slight niggle injury he got a couple of weeks back. So it's just Rudan's way of getting him back into the fitness side of things and making sure he's fit to the bill and can, contribute to the first team really well after recovering from that little injury. but I'm sure he'll probably be in the squad for the upcoming match against Brisbane, just to get him some minutes. If not that, then he'll definitely be back for the home game, I would say, against Western Sydney. Now, the other two also playing in that game, just getting minutes. Obviously, they signed quite late, Cullen and Ruben signing quite late, especially Ruben coming from Australia. They just need match day preparedness. They need to be playing games, they need to be having minutes, they need to have their fitness improved, just to be able to have a selection choice. Obviously, Ruben never played professionally before. Obviously, Cullen, so young, he's never had a contract either. So they need to just build up some experience by playing for that reserves team and taking part in lots more training sessions before we can introduce them into the first team. But looking at our new signings, going down the list, we have Stephen Taylor first up. I thought he played a really good game. Obviously, in the starting stages, I think he was a bit shaky, a bit hesitant. Do I come? Do I don't? It's that kind of thing as a defender, especially as a centre-back, whether to come out and try to challenge for the ball or not. Obviously, in those early stages, it's quite tense and quite nervous, especially being the first game of the season. They want to make a good impression. So he was a bit shaky and, got in behind him a couple of times. Same with Durante, though. But eventually did get settled in, and when he got settled in, he was strong. He was a leader. He was directing everything towards the rest of our backline and our midfield, and he was just real leader on the pitch. And I thought he did a really good job. He was real physical, didn't give any defenders any space, closed them down. He had quite a lot of power headers as well that went out into the midfield, smashing them up the park. Very strong header on him, man, that would hurt, you would think. But yeah, very good leader, and I'm glad that we signed him. Obviously, that was Mark Rudan's first signing since arriving at the club. Next up is Philip Curto. Now, I think my man of the match would be Roy Krishna, just because of his sheer determination. He was just so good at reading the play, and as a striker, you don't just sit back and defend, sit back and wait for them to come at you. He was chasing them like David Williams was as well. They were both shifting the play across by pressuring them into, getting to a certain area of the pitch, which I thought that Krishna did really well today. He obviously is quite a fast player, and he did that really well, in my opinion, hence why I gave him man of the match. Obviously scoring a goal as well, but he was the heart of a lot of our attacks, breaking down that left or right side or down the middle. But yeah, I think that Philip Curto, definitely my second choice for man of the match. He made some brilliant saves, both in the first and the second half. He tipped that Petrados volley from outside the box in the first half over the bar, which was quite a difficult shot to save, but a routine one as well, but he did it really well. Obviously the one that he tipped onto the crossbar in the second half. And yeah, he was doing really well in his first game. He kept a clean sheet right up until the end, which is not his fault. It was a perfect strike from Dimitri Petrados. Probably one of the goals of the round, in my opinion. But yeah, he played really well and deserved all the praise that he got in that game. He didn't really make any mistakes, and he was really solid. He was really solid and good to see from your last line of defence. When you're looking at your goalkeeper, you want him to be solid, and he really was. Both him and Moss, I think, had really good games. Yeah, looking at Mandy, he played quite a few. He did come off the bench in the later stages, but he's looking like a very, very good player. He's a very good midfielder who likes to play the ball around. He likes to be involved. He was getting really into the play as well. He was getting really involved into the play. Obviously, the only weakness I could probably use against him there was when he was forced to chase a player from Newcastle. At one point, you might have seen he was just lacking, and then he just kept gaining distance on him, and he just lost the pace. It could have just been because he's been on the pitch for the whole match, and it was done in the 50th minute or whatever it was. But yeah, I still reckon that he needs a little bit more fitness, maybe speed work. But other than that, he's a really good looking midfielder for us. And with Michael Kopczynski when he gets back, I'm sure they'll have a great partnership. Just another quick shout out. Rufer played a really good game in midfield today. I think one of his best games in the Phoenix shirt, in my opinion. Obviously, he's got a lot of slack over his time at the Knicks, as he, is not living up to the hype of Winton Rufer. Obviously, he's an incredible New Zealand international. He was for us, but obviously, Alex not quite living up to the hype of the name of Rufer. But thought he played a really good game today and held his own in midfield and laid it off quite well. Drew in the players, and he did a really good game, and I was pretty proud to see Rufer doing so well. Looking at David Williams, I think David Williams had a really good game as well. Actually, I know I've said this a lot. I know I've said this a lot of times. Really good game, but he had a standout performance on that wing. Did shift with Krishna a couple of times, swapping into the mid, swapping back out. But he was really involved, like Krishna, chasing down the attackers, being the attacker, chasing down the defender, trying to force them to play a ball, switching them from side to side. He did really well to put pressure on that defence and really got into some good positions and played some good passes. Unfortunately, he didn't quite score that one that Singh handballed in the end, but definitely a good player, and we'll can't wait to see him scoring some goals for us. I really do think that he can, do some really good stuff for us. He obviously was a former Melbourne Heart, Melbourne City now player, so he does know how to play in the A-League, and I think that he opened his season quite well as well. Now looking at the two players that came off the bench for us, Max Burgess and Mitch Nichols. Max Burgess obviously had a chance that he probably should have had a shot or laid off a lot earlier, but you make mistakes. You don't always get the right call, but I thought that he had a decent game off the bench. He didn't do a lot, but when he got involved, he was playing passes and things, and that's what you want to see from an attacking midfielder, just trying to get his feel in the A-League, I'm sure. So, yeah, I think he had a decent game. There's not too much to say because he wasn't outstanding off the bench or anything like that, but he did what he needed to off the bench for me. And Mitch Nichols did quite well. He won us that penalty for getting pulled down in the box. He played quite well in that midfield role. Obviously, haven't played since he was in the A-League before this drug stuff went on. But it looks like that's all behind him now, and hopefully he'll be able to prove everyone wrong and push on and perform really well for us in the season to come. Obviously, it was his mistake of trying to, shoot from long distance where he missed the ball that led to the break, which which is where we conceded the goal. But it's just a brain fade. He knows it's probably not what he should have done. And my opinion, when we try to waste time, it doesn't really work. We just need to play our game, because trying to do time wasting, they realise what we're doing and they seem to counter it quite easily, in my opinion. But yeah, so I think that Mitch just made a bit of an error there, but that's fine. Everyone makes errors. It's just trying to get that not to happen again, But I thought he had a decent game off the bench as well, with good substitutions by Mark Rudan. Not introducing them too early, not introducing them too late, obviously. Wanting to get them into the game enough, but not to bring them in too early so that they're a bit stressed about the whole thing. But I thought they definitely had a few good games. Interesting to see Lowry was on the bench as opposed to Fox. I don't know what happened with that, whether he prefers Lowry maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I haven't heard anything, I haven't seen anything about why that was, but Lowry on the bench didn't come on, but he was there, and obviously Sale on the bench as well. But yeah, we had a really good performance, and I'm really excited to see our boys play when I watch them on TV against Brisbane Roar, and then be back at the stadium for the Western Sydney game, where they have reportedly been going to decrease the amount of music after the complaints by the Yellow Fever. They were complaining quite a lot about the music in between play. In my opinion, I think it's actually good when there's a long stoppage or like an overextended period where there's nothing going on and there is no chance. It's good to have some music to up the atmosphere, but all to their own, and they'll decrease the amount they use it, and obviously do better when they have their breaks and stoppages, and make sure that it's not too long, like I think it was going over when we were playing the game. It was brought up in the press conference as well with Mark Rudan. He didn't actually really notice it. Don't know if the players noticed it much, but it was a nice touch in my opinion. But they're thinking about bringing in some safe smoke areas. Not sure how that's going to go with the Phoenix. We've never had smoke in our games before, so I suppose time will tell, and we'll see if we enjoy that. Should be ready by the next home game, David Dome has said. But yeah, that's it from me for now. I'll be glad to hear what you think about the game, the team, the new signings, how you think that we're going to go this season. My opinion, I think that we are. We do have the quality, and we do have the passion. We do have the players to make the top four. In my opinion, I'm calling it. I'm saying that we should, and I hopefully will, make the top four. If not that, definitely in the playoffs this season. Obviously, lots of the other clubs have improved as well, but I really hope that we can, make that top four. That's what I'd like. We were there a few years ago when Nathan Burns was on fire for us. I was there at that playoff game. Didn't win, obviously, but I love that season so much, and I just want to be back at the playoffs. Be great to see, and with the players that we have, we would be a real force to be reckoned with. But until next time, you might see me or someone else giving their view. Comment down below on the video if this makes it to the Phoenix Fan TV channel. Go give them a subscribe anyway. Like the videos, comment on their videos, and give them support, because they're doing a really cool thing that they're doing, trying to get the fans involved and getting everyone's opinion. It's not just about what he thinks or what the club thinks. It's about everyone's opinion. We want to be able to share that somewhere, and he's giving us that opportunity. So thank you to him there, Kelvin. Really good that you're setting up something like that. But until next time, you might see me or someone else. Cheers, thank you, goodbye, and I will see you later.